Not having this one today. Far too hot.
Sunday, the day of the grand final, somehow managed to be the hottest day yet. It was around 30 degrees and there was no escaping it. While most people I knew were in a 5-star hotel, I was preparing in my friendly little B&B on the other side of the river. I had grown quite fond of my base of operations. I had Weetabix so I didn't have to worry about going hungry, a wardrobe with all my many outfits in, and my laptop. Whenever I got a spare moment, I'd type up what was kind of like an ongoing diary entry of the trip so that this series could be as detailed and as fresh as it could be. By today, I had so much stuff recorded that I kept a copy both at the B&B and with me, just in case something horrible happened to one of them. Losing this stuff would have broken my heart. While you enjoy this sunny footage, let me confess something to you. I have never had a proper signature. I just write my name really quickly and do it consistently messily. I had the dilemma of switching to a proper one when I first got a passport, but didn't. But now, 3kliksphilip must have his own signature. Where passports failed, CSGO has managed it. I practiced a bit on a piece of paper and was helped by everybody to choose the one that looked best. They then all did theirs and we were left with a very unique piece of paper. I can't remember who kept it. Anyway, the time came. We were escorted by security to the tent outside, which managed to be even hotter than everywhere else. There were hundreds of people all queuing to meet us, and I wouldn't be surprised if we were more nervous than the people queuing. Once it all got started, it was okay because I'd be constantly doing something. From the way I did signing, if I ever did casting, then I think I'd probably be one of those stand up and dance around types. Personally, I've hardly ever even attended a signing session before, so I really don't know how it all went. I'd look across and Jeff always looked so comfortable and natural. I hope I was okay and that everybody who attended was happy with the experience. It's one of those things that I was too busy at the time to worry about, but ever since I've been thinking about how I could have done things better. And there were a couple of embarrassing moments. Sorry if they ruined yours. I noticed that they boarded up the windows leading to outside so I couldn't see how long the queue was. I didn't like that. Did they think that knowing would somehow demotivate me? It may have been like an oven in there, but I don't think that any of us would have stopped the signing until we collapsed from heat exhaustion. None of us would ever want to disappoint anybody. I kept thinking back to the one signing session I did attend with the Chuckle Brothers and how pleased I was that they took their time to greet me. Just the fact that they did meant the world to me back then. And as for you guys, you're also polite, asking if you can take pictures and the like. And of course the answer is yes, as long as you understand that signing a t-shirt is the hardest thing ever. Despite all this, I don't think that I ever did a bad signature. I think probably because, looking back at my limited experience again, I don't care that the Pet Shop Boys signatures were so messy that it's sometimes hard to tell which one is which. It's theirs, and now it's mine. All mine. I know I'm rambling now, but I also think I broke social etiquette by occasionally asking if you'd like a picture, since some people seemed very shy and might just have forgotten or gotten too caught up in the moment. It's a lot easier to delete a picture you don't want than to create one you didn't take, right? There were a couple of instances where people only wanted certain YouTubers to sign something. I honestly don't think that any of us would in any way be offended by that. But then again, I wasn't the one who got rejected. Altogether, it took just under an hour, but the time flew by. Then we returned to watch the finals, which sadly was a complete stomp. Honestly, I don't think that any of the matches I watched here were particularly good. But saying that, I felt less inclined to watch them here than I do from home because there's so much else to do. For example, the VR booths. I'm a big fan of new technology, but the queues for these things were insane. I waited for the grand finals to start and then tried them when no one else was around. There was no Vive, but the Oculus and PlayStation 4 VR were there. I first tried the Oculus Rift. The first thing that hits you is how disappointing the resolution is. It's like having a face pressed up against an old CRT monitor. But you soon forget about that and begin to look through the screen at the action going on beyond it. The demo was pretty dark, set on a street at night with soldiers and explosions everywhere in slow motion. Your viewpoint floats in a straight line through the action, letting you move your head around to go through passing bullets and shards of glass. I made a real effort to stick my head through a soldier's arse at one point. You can almost feel these things hitting you. Your flinching reflex is activated and yet the impact never comes. It's something I've experienced before with 3D TVs, but this is so much more intense. When the camera jolts to a stop at the end, it feels really strange not to also feel this effect on your body. I see movement being a problem with VR games. It was a pretty good experience though, but it was nothing compared to the PlayStation 4 VR. It's clear that VR is far more about the controllers than it is about the goggles. For this demo, I was sat inside a seat of the car and could pick up Uzis, open doors, pick up clips and shoot the interior. Reloading the gun was particularly satisfying. Pressing buttons to eject the clip and physically shifting your hands to put a new one in. I embarrassingly clashed hands in real life a couple of times, but for the most part it felt so natural. Within minutes I felt I had mastered a completely new control method that I'd happily use instead of a mouse for first-person shooter games in the future. I wish I'd done this booth more than once. It was really amazing. I can't wait to try out the Vive.
They need to hold on for a long time. Fur pushing up, running with the knife out. He's got the AK in hand. He's going to run it again. Yeah!
Of course, I returned to watch the end of the finals from a number of different places in the arena. I did a terrible job of filming the important bit at the end, mostly because I was more interested in seeing it with my own eyes. It was spectacular, as millions of bits of sparkly confetti filled the air and South America once again showed that they were better than everybody else. But here's what I managed to film. The matches had ended, but there was still one more thing left to attend: the Twitch after party. Getting a wristband for this prestigious VIP event was an utter nightmare. I queued for what seemed like an eternity, only to be told that I'd been in the wrong queue and I had to do it all again but a couple of feet to my right. Eventually I got it and headed home for a couple of hours sleep before it began.